we finished this week's reflections with looking at the verse that's so often used in evangelistic meetings, this idea that Jesus is knocking on the door and that he wants us to let him in, and that if we do, that we'll have fellowship with him, table fellowship, that we'll have this intimate life sharing. This is a word to Christians, that the Lord is actually knocking on your door today. He's knocking on my door today. He's knocking on the door of our church today. He is saying, let me in into all these different areas of your life. I want you to let me in, because wherever Jesus is in our lives, when he is in first place, when we seek him first, those things curiously start to come back into order. That healing starts to come where disorder and brokenness was. That chaos is overruled because Jesus's presence is there. Let me in, he says. Let me in. Let me into your sexuality and in how you're working that out. Let me in to your ambition and to your what you sense that you want in your life. Let me into your dreams. Let me into your future. Let me in to your past. Let me in. He says, let me in. Let me into your relationships. Let me into your family. Let me into your marriage. Let me in. In fact, what ends up happening is so frequently when I have met with couples whose marriages are struggling, they have sort of excluded Jesus. They've not brought him in. The Lord is saying, let me in. He is knocking. He's knocking on the door for you today. Let me into your school. Let me into your work. Let me into your challenges. Let me into your insecurity. Let me in. This is what the Lord is saying to us. And what's on the other side of that is intimate fellowship. When he says, let me in, we're not just sort of statically saying, okay, come in, and then we're done. No, instead, what we're saying is, come in, let's talk. Let me learn how to trust. Let me learn how to have fellowship, koinonia, that sharing of life with you that you have promised. And when we do that, miraculous things begin to happen. Let me in is what Jesus says to us today.